Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, I've talked before about favorite species. You know, we all, I think, have our favorite, and some are completely different than others. Each species requires a little bit different technique in fishing. But in talking about the new policy on walleyes, it made me think of the fish that I enjoy to catch. And let me tell you right now, I enjoy catching just about everything. In fact, I don't think there's anything that I don't actually enjoy catching unless it bites me back. But I think going back in life and how this has changed with me. At one point, just before I went into the service, I became hooked on. I caught the fever, muskie fever, and thoughts and dreams of catching muskies. It saw me through the time that I was in the Navy. I kept dreaming about it every day, and I came back to this area. And for years, muskie was the ultimate target for me. But as the years went by, I sort of have phased into a different way of looking at fishing. Muskies are a tremendous adversary. I mean, they're the biggest. They could take your fingers off if they wanted to, I guess. And, there's tremendous highs and lows to that kind of fishing. I can remember the highs, again, of doing a TV show and catching a 30 to 40-pound muskie. I caught one in the Grass River one year that was 40 pounds. Probably that was the biggest muskie in my life, and it was in the Grass River. But the highs of doing that while a camera was on and I could share that with people all over, that was tremendous. And the lows, oh my goodness, the lows of hooking a giant fish, a fish that was probably bigger than anything you could conceive. At least that's how you thought at the time. If I can only get this fish in, if I can only catch it, and then have it get off the hook. And that is a low beyond being able to describe. But, now I have other fish that I enjoy. And I'll tell you, catching a walleye is a pure delight for me. When I'm fishing any of the tributaries, and I'm fishing primarily for smallmouth bass, but to catch a walleye, and why? I can't tell you why. They don't fight as much. They probably fight about as much as a sucker of the same size. But they can have a beautiful chartreusey color to them in some of our tributaries. And they're the best eating fish if you want to eat fish. Walleyes are wonderful. But there's more. It's like a mystique to catch a walleye. And I don't know what that mystique is, but I've fallen into it. And so I love it when I can catch them. But I love it when I can catch anything. And fishing to me is just that, going fishing. And if you catch something while you're there, it makes it all the better. And if it has pretty colors, maybe that makes it better. If it's one of those species that comes jumping out of the water, you can enjoy watching it do that. You can marvel at their acrobatics. It's all of those things, and it's all of those species. So even now, when I go to sports shows and show videos to people, the number one thing that seems to make them want to come to this area is seeing us catching muskies in these small streams. Because what it does is, most people think of muskies as a fish of a lifetime that they're never going to catch. It takes 1,000+ casts to get a strike, but it's not the same in these tributaries. And when they discover that all they got to do is come a few hours to Meissner, and they can go out and they can catch. And I shouldn't just say Meissner. They can go to any of our towns that lay along these tributaries and have a chance of catching a muskie, and a very good chance. Muskies seem to have that draw for people that they did for me back when I was 18 years old. So we have it all here, and that's something we take for granted, but we do. We have every species of every size, and we have lots of them, and this is really a fishing paradise because we don't have just one place to go. We've got water everywhere, and that's what makes us so lucky. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.